What's up, fam? Welcome back. I missed you guys. Missed you. Had a few more videos I've been working on, but I just couldn't get them to work. So I was like, man, it's been a long time. Let's go live. So we're live today. Pretty spicy day today. We have some interesting news stuff going on, and the markets, for once, seemingly following along with the news. We don't see that all the time. We're gonna take a peek here at Bitcoin. We're gonna look through, I think, some of the news here from today. Maybe there's something we're not catching. Let's just peek in here. If you guys remember, we were waiting for this golden cross on the daily, the 50 and 200. Now looking to cross imminently, perhaps tomorrow, maybe 2 days away. We had originally speculated the 15th of September. That was kind of a crown original. And here we are on the 13th, and it looks about a day or two away. I think our timing was on. Something that we did say, something that was important. That was another crown original is we are looking for price to move closer to this cross as it approaches, and though it didn't really do it in the style we would prefer, you can see the market agreed. We had a nice sell-off. We found support on the 50 daily, and now we're right at the cross. This is good news. I couldn't tell you why, but it does seem the farther that price is from the crosses, the less reliable they become. We see that back here, price not really close to the cross. Didn't really play out like a death cross, but I'm actually feeling good about this cross. Price doing what we wanted it to do. Just a little bit uncomfortable. Hopefully you guys out there doing okay. 42.2 still untouched despite this selling. And something interesting I noticed today while I was playing League. This whole part, this whole May, June, July, this sell-off, starting to look on smaller time frames a lot like what we have here. If we zoom into maybe the hourly, we see something pretty similar. We have that long wick, and then we have our lows coming down. We may see a slightly lower low, and that could put us right on that 42.2 area. There's our little 2-cent take. We're definitely going to get into more TA. So I wanted to look at news here because we had a news-related event today. Litecoin, I guess there was some misinformation published about Walmart and accepting Litecoin, etc. We saw Litecoin go nuts into this. So did Bitcoin, and now we're really sitting on the cusp of recovery from the events earlier today. Pretty exciting stuff, to be honest. Let's take a look here at both of those charts. In BTC pair, well, weirdly, the market knew where we were aiming. Weirdly, we can see that giant top wick. This was really insane. Litecoin against Bitcoin pair, we do see a little bit of shelving here. We had a consolidation period. We had this wild rally, settled back down just above that consolidation period on the 15. So that could be worse. That could be worse. You guys know my view of news. Typically, real news doesn't tend to have impact on price right away. Maybe this is a great example. Wasn't real news, had impact on price right away. Litecoin, though, not fully retracing. This is the important part. Did absorb some of that selling, and we saw actually a higher high, which is pretty exciting. A higher high. Didn't hold, but slightly higher high there, $237, and that eclipses September 5th. We also see a higher high on RSI. That's excellent. Technically, this looks pretty sound. I think there's a play to be made here on Litecoin. I'd be looking for that 171. Give it a little wiggle room on the bottom in that consolidation area, and maybe look to play this back up to monthly resistance again at 227. Looks like this would have actually got stopped out by pennies, but our trade to 227 really was on the right play. Little wicks being jerks. Is there anything else interesting in the news? Elon Musk, new puppy. He got a Shiba. This guy, I used to be the biggest Elon fan. Now, Elon, I don't know, what are you doing with your life? You're like adopting a dog to be in the news. It all seems so narcissistically centered. It is what it is. Apparently, new Dogecoin copycat skyrocketed as a result. This is gibberish. I hope none of you are out there trading this way. Certainly what dog Elon Musk buys shouldn't be a factor of our investing. Where's the one I was looking for? Shaq, weary of crypto, says it's too good to be true. Good thing we don't take investment advice from Shaq. Can Ethereum pull off a 40% hike by the end of December? That's an interesting one. Not really news, more of a question. Sure, why not? It's possible. It's not really news, it's just a question. Here it is. Bitcoin exchange reserves lowest in 3 years. This is actually what I wanted to get at. We finally found it. If you're a patron, you already got tipped off about this. You already got some insights on it. However, if we take a look at quant data or Glassnode, we see that supply on exchange is very low for Bitcoin. You guys know I'm not a huge on-chain metrics guy. If I could find it. Not a huge on-chain metrics guy in general. But sometimes it's worth looking at. All exchanges reserves. Here's what we were looking at. This is what that article is speaking of. This blue line represents how much Bitcoin's on exchange. The black line represents the price. And what we see here is that in the last, really since September started, there has been a new trend. And that trend is exchanges seeing outflows. They're seeing Bitcoin being removed from exchange, not added onto exchange in a net flow. And that's very exciting. Maybe this is why I'm not an on-chain metrics guy. Last time it was this low was April 19th. That really wasn't bullish, right? It's really not a bullish thing, at least with that one example. Perhaps that sample size is too small. But what we did see is a reversal of that trend. We saw inflows come in as price failed to make a higher high, and we saw that extended selling period. Now, to see price inching back up, especially with today's wildness, to have Bitcoin supply on exchange so low, very hard to interpret this any way but bullish. Really. Could this from April repeat? Sure. But it isn't going to be a piece of evidence we're going to use to argue that. It doesn't make sense. If there's less Bitcoin on an exchange, there's just less potential sellers. You can only sell the Bitcoin that is there. Yes, we can see whale alerts, we can see inbound transfers, and we should keep an eye on that. But for now, this is not a bad sign. In fact, this is a very good sign. You can see that's a very, very clear trend, looking like it started July 25th, basically just free falling. Supply on exchange. If this trend continues, that's going to get very exciting. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, keeping an eye on whale alerts, looking for inbound and outbound transfers. Bitcoin, let's see. While we wait for those alerts. We saw our low coming in 42.8, just above our 42.2. We have not seen, and this is actually important, there it is. Mr. Feels the House signing back up. Good to have you, brother. We have not seen our golden retrace. This is unusual. This is unusual. To me, this suggests that we really won't know the direction of price until we get to this golden pocket. Let's see where that is. 48.8 or 49.1. 49.1 was a very important weekly level not too long ago. 48.8, I don't actually remember if that was anything. I don't. Does look as if, at the moment, that rally, there it is. There it is. Mr. Rick. Get rid of all this noise, and I have a suspicion. Let's see where we are here. So if we take our highs to our lows, we can see we're moving back towards that 0.5 and 0.618 retrace, as we always do. So 45.1 for the 0.5, and it's looking like 45.5 for that golden pocket. This is very likely here to be tested, even if we're going to go break this low, very likely. And of course, before and more likely, the 0.5, 45.1. Interesting. There's so much selling went on here. And then it just stopped. Liquidity was thin and it just stopped. Market drifted back upwards. This definitely does not give me the best of vibes. Not going to lie. Not the best of vibes on a move like that. Very whipsaw, very painful for leveraged traders. Interesting here. What is interesting? Wow, what's super interesting? This is... So, markets do seem random at times, right? Like today's pump dump, random, right? But then you look at the math, and it doesn't feel so random. So if we use just our... Let's get rid of this. If we use just our retracement here in our measured moves, so our 1618, our 2, and our 2618, these values don't seem so random anymore. I'm going to go ahead and re-extend these. Look at this overlap. Our 1618 sitting in that golden pocket that we were talking about at the beginning of the episode that has not been tested. That's too perfect. It's just at the very top of that golden pocket. Our 2 measured move sitting at our 786 deep retrace. And then our 2618 right back to the high. That's wild. That's wild AF. The coincidence of these just so happening to be the exact measured move is a little too much for coincidence for me. Very much implying, in my opinion, if 46.9 is broken, here's our targets. You very rarely get anything that overlaps this perfectly. This is definitely confidence building. If we don't think of it that way, though, and we just kind of look at our candles here, you're going to use a channel, I think. We haven't used a parallel channel in a while. There we go. Here's our parallel channel. This is looking pretty familiar. It's looking like a pretty familiar pattern. Definitely can get rid of a lot of this again. We see our highs coming down. We see our lows coming down. And that gives us a descending channel. So the bad news is, well, probably lower highs, lower lows. But the good news is that these typically, or at least statistically, I don't know what I'm doing here, break to the upside more often than the downside. So as long as we're consolidating here, that looks pretty decent for these retracement targets. This is some spicy price action. I'm thinking more and more, for those of you who've been around for a long time, this is looking more and more like the big spooky. We needed a big spooky. That's what we said. At around, we were looking for it at 48,000. And we said we need a big spooky. Prices moved up a ton. People are getting confident. Bitcoin doesn't like confidence. Bitcoin's shy. Bitcoin wants people to question it. No, it is not a human. No, it does not think. But it does not like people being confident in a rally. And a move like this, I think, has shaken a lot of these new positions, as it did set a lower low. It didn't invalidate our structure. We're still good. What's interesting is actually, it's technically a double bottom, which sucks because I'm not a double bottom fan. Giggity. I don't really believe these are strong reversals. And as you can see, it didn't really lead to one. But this low from August 9th is perfectly where this selling stopped. It's pretty interesting. Let's just review. Let's review our macro here for a second. We had 2 macro trends. One is our descending high trend, which we broke August 9th, back tested it August 12th. We had 3 days in between. That's plenty of time. That's a solid back test. We can take that. And then we have our ascending high trend. Back tested here on the 7th. We were the first people to snipe this out. If this low holds, if you guys saw that clickbaity video, you have yourself a wonderful position. This trend line was looking to be back tested one way or another. Certainly didn't think it would happen in one candle like this. But with that back test, if we can hold 42.2, this pattern is complete. And all of a sudden, this is looking for upside. I think if we throw this on, I think I did this the first day. If we throw our Fibonacci tool on and look at our measured moves, this is where more coincidence starts happening. I hate the horizontal line. Let's do the ray. We can see our measured move, our 2, sitting just above the all-time high. This is still where I'm looking. This is still what I'm thinking. Nothing has changed. If we trade below 42.2, then we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. It's pretty convenient, though. Don't you guys think? Pretty convenient that this big spooky sell-off brought us within, I don't know, 1% of our support target. Didn't break. Found buyers. Hasn't really made any progress to the downside. Seems a little too coincidental for me. Seems like the spooky plan move. I don't know. It's up for you guys to interpret. A lot of people watch Total. Not enough. Let's take a peek at what's going on. So we did catch this golden cross on the daily for Total back in September 1st. And here is what I really, really like about this. So as I said, I don't really believe in double bottoms. I don't really believe in double tops. That's essentially what we had here on total. Total is slightly a lower high, but it's within a margin of error. Within the margin of error, I would call this a double top. Here's what I love about it. One, this rejection, though it did feel bad, barely moved price, barely moved total market cap. We can see this consolidation level we had before is, at least for now, holding as support. Not the best here is the 20 daily sitting above, acting as resistance. This has changed? No, it hasn't changed. Cool. Our initial sell-off, though, found support on the 50 daily, wicked back up, and now we're kind of just chilling at this consolidation level. You can argue with me all day about double tops. I just never seen any significant market in crypto reverse to the upside or downside on a double top or double bottom. Yes, you see some kind of reversal, but it's almost always just locally before the trend continues. So total market cap here is keeping me a little bullish. It's keeping me a little bullish here. If we can find a close above our 20 daily on total, I think we're testing new all-time highs for total market cap, and that is, well, that's just dandy. That'd just be dandy, wouldn't it? Money flow on total, beastin', just straight beastin'. Rolled over on the 5th of August and has really just taken no shit from anybody. It has just beasted up. Look at this awful VWAP. VWAP pulling price back down, saying, oh no, you're too far ahead. You're too far ahead. Money flow doesn't care. Money flow just keeps moving up with higher highs and higher lows. This is much more bullish, in my opinion, than Bitcoin at the moment. Daily momentum not reflecting that. You see a possible increasing momentum to the downside candle here on total after yesterday's waning. But to see this day wrap up with a waning momentum candle for the second in a row would be probable. Would not be mind-blowing. RSI on total hanging out at 50. It's in the danger zone. We're in the danger zone. We are not in Beartown yet. We can see here, Beartown very visible. Beartown right here. Below 50, Beartown. We can see that we fell through it right before the crash in May, and we're unable to break back up above 50. We've done that, and now we're back at 50. So what I'd like to see is this break back to the upside. Even if we get a lower high and we have bearish divergence, I'm fine with that. Stay above 50. So far, so good. I'm really liking the way total market cap is looking. It's definitely keeping my confidence in this rally up, and to be flirting with that 50 line, if it can just find any kind of bullish energy, it's going right back up. Let's see if total has retraced yet. So total, unlike Bitcoin, being a good boy, this is why I like charting total. It behaves a little better. Bitcoin behaves very poorly. We can see total did reach its golden pocket. It sold off, it bounced, it touched the 618, and now is in the same pattern as Bitcoin. We see our lows coming down, our highs coming down. That's very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, I see bounced here. It's weird because on the daily it touches it and on the 4 hour it doesn't. Total is a calculated chart. It's calculated, meaning it's not going to be perfect. It is subject to change. Interesting, we have our high and our measured move similar to Bitcoin. These fib levels are they're too good. Same thing here with our Fibonacci extensions. We have our high at virtually the same price as our measured move here. That's very exciting. That means or suggests that if we can break our high here on total at the golden pocket, that we're going to be looking to retest our highs. That would play in with what I was talking about in double tops. We rarely ever in crypto see a double top do something like that. And I say rarely, and I mean I have no examples of it. I don't know if I've ever seen it really happen. What we typically see is you get a double top, you get something spooky, and then you get a test of that high again. And what you paint out there is a beautiful pattern, the pattern we want to see. We want to see multiple tests of resistance, and we want to see our lows coming up. Maybe we get a third one. We haven't really been seeing that triple low play out often. We've been seeing a move past the highs and then a back test to some kind of measured move, not even the highs. We've been seeing stuff like this. So that's where my eyes are looking on total. I like the way it looks. You'll like the way you look. I guarantee it. This is a little secret chart here, but it's time to come clean. Total is doing something very cool, and this is why we've been watching it. Since back here, honestly, we can even take it all the way to November of last year. So almost the entire time we've been rallying, Total has been in a very interesting channel. We identified this actually way before this. I have to find the other chart. But what's really cool about it is if you extend this channel back, and this might not be right because, nope, it is. If we extend this channel back, we can see that perhaps this channel has existed for a long time. We see a lot of price action messing with it. Our fall right here into the bear market's bottom in 2018, we see consolidation at the middle of that channel, and we see that, July in 2019, June 2019 high, perfect touch to the top of the channel. It rejects, and then we fall out of it. Only after we broke 20K on Bitcoin did we re-enter that channel. What's really cool is you can see this playing back here as well. You're not going to be able to see that. It's probably behind me. We can see price interacting almost perfectly with this channel. So what does that mean? Well, we've been speculating we're looking for the second phase of our bull market. We're looking for that second phase. And this is on crypto total. So we would say this here could be phase 1, and this would be phase 2. So we're looking to leave this channel, and we're looking to go parabolic. That is my honest opinion. Top of this channel now above us on the weekly is about like 3.6 trillion, our 1618 measured move, sitting at 4.3. And that doesn't really overlap until November. But again, we're looking to break the top. It can happen today. It could happen in 2 months, 3 months. We're looking to break the top and repeat what we saw back here. And that is really that parabolic movement up to a blow off top and then to fall back down and return to our channel. So if we use our patterns, let's use our bar pattern here. I want the pattern after it breaks the high and after it falls back in, something like that. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Something like this. So whenever it does break out of this channel, we're looking for something similar. Parabolic run up and then a drop back into the bottom of the channel. The longer that takes, the higher that bottom of the channel is. In bear market, we could see again, though, a similar repeat process here. We could lose the channel and come back up. And what that really would do is give us a very smooth, bigger, more macro channel. That would be very exciting. But total remains bullish. Bitcoin's chart looks kind of janky again. We didn't have the best weekly close yesterday, but total doesn't really agree. Doesn't agree with Bitcoin. After trading below a bearish engulfed weekly intra-week, total found buyers before the market closed. Rejected that bearish engulf. Yes, we have a red candle now. That's actually pretty much the norm after something like that. But it shows that the bulls were not going to allow the total crypto market space to close with a bearish engulf. We saw that happen at this high last time, and do you remember what happened in May? We didn't get that. So we're looking at this low of last week. We're hoping to hold it into this week, and ideally we want to see that weekly move back up to that 2.3 trillion level. That would be excellent. Closing there for this week would be pretty spicy. Let's see. Let us